What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Smash JT. I am using some No Swear Gamer footage here, and he also has reported on this situation. I wanted to give my 2 cents on it because I kind of had something to do with it, so I figured I should probably pass this information along to you guys. But about a month ago, actually to the day, on January 11th, Gatoros, the person responsible for making the game that you see on the screen here, Haters Match, reached out to me on Twitter and a direct message. And he said, "Hi Smash, I was thinking of offering Intellivision my services for free to port an Amico game to Steam on the condition that the revenues are used to pay for customer refunds. This would be a serious, genuine offer and could be an interesting story for them to portray. A, what do you think? And B, would you be willing to share Phil Adams' email address so I can send him the offer?" And I was like, that's really kind of you. I don't have his email, just his phone number, which he probably wouldn't want shared out there. Would it be okay if I screenshot this message and sent it to him and asked for the best way for you to get in touch with him? And he said, sure thing. Thank you. So from that, I shared this information to Phil Adam via text message. And Phil said to me, "I'm flying overseas and then back in Europe end of next week. Can you forward me his email and I will respond. I just don't want my email everywhere. Just done with funeral services last week and thank you." For those of you who don't know, Phil's mother passed away and he'd been dealing with that. And I said, will do. And I said his contact email is this. So Gatoros wrote back to me a few days ago. Twitter message isn't working, so I'm sending this email to you. I passed emails back and forth with Phil Adam, laid out my offer of porting a game provided all revenues went to refunds. In January, he said to contact him again in 30 days. So today I did, and the response was A, to contact him again in another 30 days, and B, they'd want 6 figures, that's minimum $100,000 paid for a license, since they'd need to pay legal fees and cover bandwidth. So needless to say, it seems unlikely at this point anything will go ahead. A bit disappointing, but hey, it's their IP, and that upfront approach clearly supports their current business model better. I hope it works for them. I'll let you know if anything further comes from these discussions. Cheers, Gatoros. And I wrote back, "Hey man, thanks for the follow-up and insight. Sucks they aren't willing to work around the pricing with you to figure something out, but at the same time, that's exactly on brand with how they've driven this operation into the ground. It was very kind of you to reach out and try. Is it okay to move forward with the video on this info, or would you prefer me to keep it private?" And he wrote back, "I'll give Phil a day or so in case he replies to my latest email, but after that, sure, feel free." He did not end up sending any NDA. His exact words were, "My licensing deals, I am typically looking at 6 digits because of legal fees and bandwidth. Reach out again after I get back to the States in early March." So Phil is currently overseas, apparently for the entire month of February 2023. And by the way, these were my exact words. Quote, "This is a serious, genuine offer. If you are low on staff/funds, I would be happy to offer you my services for absolutely free to port an Amico game, in parentheses S, to Steam, provided that revenue go 100% towards unwinding your refund queue." Like, first off, what a good dude Gatoros is to even offer these services. He's clearly shown the talent to be able to create games. I mean, he was making these. Remember, these games were coming out in like a day. He's like, I put this together in 24 hours. Something that was taking Intellivision years to create, he would make it in a day. So it made you wonder how Intellivision was spending all their excess funds. Now, clearly, this game is not nearly as elaborate as the Intellivision Amico games were, but it exists, which is something outside of the physical editions that don't work on anything. is more than Amico can say. Although, please don't admit that I am upset or anything. It's really no skin off my nose, less work for me, so that's good. Happy to move on and watch from the sidelines again. I really don't see why I would be expected to pay anything at all, given I wouldn't make a dime. It's purely charitable concept. Looking at this from a ruthless business perspective, though, I can definitely see their logic. If their goal is to still produce consoles, my offer wouldn't further that a whole lot beyond generating some community goodwill. But keeping hold of a license in the hope of selling it for bigger upfront dollars, which he said is what he's currently traveling around doing, might be more beneficial. And he says, note that No Swear Gamer is working on refunds-related video, and I mentioned this to him as well. If he reports on the offer, do you want him to say you are the one that put me in touch? Cheers. And I said, awesome. Thanks again for the detailed insights. And yeah, totally fine. NSG knows I was involved facilitating. I don't see anything wrong with that. Please keep me posted. Stay in touch if there's ever anything you need from me or how I could assist you in the endeavor. I appreciate your approach on this. Very kind of you. So that's where we are right now with Phil Adam and how he declined Gator's very generous offer to port these games to Steam for free. Like, to put Intellivision IPs onto a platform to be able to sell them. Now, what they do with the excess funds, I have no idea, but at least they'd be able to, assuming they had excess funds, it's a big assumption at this point, but assuming they had excess funds, I don't know what they'd do with them, but at least they'd prioritize, you know, giving refunds back to people that have requested refunds that were Tommy Tallarico guaranteed to be returned to people if they changed their mind. What was that, 4 years ago, 5 years ago? I don't even know anymore. It's been a long time coming. So we are currently at a standstill when it comes to the Intellivision Amico and what's happening with it. Gator's tried his best to get some information over, and nothing. So we're back at square one right now with Intellivision that continues to spin the wheels, has little to zero employees, no offices, no contracts, no deals, nothing in play, and we have Phil Adam, who's the head of this operation, continuing to kick the proverbial can down the road. And it's become almost like a meme at this point with Phil Adam. It used to be 2 weeks. Now it's a month. Now he's doing the 30-day kick the can down the road, where here's some information that I'm going to try to work on, get back to me in 30 days. 30 days comes and goes. Here's the 30-day time frame. Oh, you know, something that I wasn't expecting happened, so I'm going to need about 30 more days on that, so check back with me then. And just rinse and repeat over and over and over again. This is the same exact feeling and the vibe that I got from this entire company way back when I turned heel on them and said, I can't do this. I can't carry this load for this company anymore. I can't pretend that everything's hunky-dory. I need to get real about this and be serious with my audience and say, hold up. You just keep saying it's going to come, it's going to come, it's going to come, but there's nothing tangible. And the things that are tangible are extremely sus. We're looking at that fake fraud unboxing video where John Alvarado opens up a boxed Intellivision Amico that was clearly used, and it had like the wrong power cord. Things were misspelled on the instruction cutout. The cutout wasn't even die cut by a machine. It was all done by hand as a facade to fool people. Why? I don't know. Trying to lure more investors in? Who knows? All we know at this point is that Intellivision is not a company to be trusted. And they have proven that time and time again. And it hurts me to say that because these are people that were extremely kind, generous, nice, back when I first met with them, chat with them, and had all these hopes and expectations not ever come to fruition back in the day. And for a long time, just empty promises until we find ourselves now in moving into 2023. We're in February 2023 with nothing. And then the only peep we hear from Tommy is that he has nothing to say about Intellivision, nothing about leaving everyone hanging, and going to Chile to do a Video Games Live concert, but doesn't even talk about it on his own Twitter. He doesn't want people to know he's trying to run and hide from this thing. Super shady, it's really sad what's become of this. I had huge hopes from it, and to me, like many of you know, hanging with the head of a video game company. Yes, I know Tommy bought the company and he wasn't the original, obviously. We all know that. But just to be around that in the game environment and seeing them create it hands-on back in the day was truly something special. And I let that influence my approach to this. And I see that now, and I'm learning from it. And I see people like Gatoros who really are clearly good people trying to do the right thing. And this would be a cool thing to put on his resume. Like, hey, I helped this company port these games over to Steam, and they were able to refund the people. No, nothing. None of that. All we have right now is Phil saying no and asking for 6 figures to pay for legal fees? What legal fees for these IPs do you need that cost 6 figures? That is a fascinating question that I'd have for that. I think what it is more, if I think about it, it's more, that's what he feels like these games are worth each, upwards of 6 figures or more, which, yes, I know you're probably laughing when I say that, but think about it for a minute. If they are able to get that, then they can get something from this endeavor and move on from it before they leave everyone high and dry, if they're able to, offload these IPs and make something from it. Screw the investors, obviously, but they kind of already did that. Screw people who are excited about this console. Right now, it looks like instead of porting these games over to Steam and making some income to be able to produce the Intellivision, it kind of gives me the vibe that right now he's just shopping these IPs around just to get some money and then close up shop. I don't know. That's my impression when I read the back and forth that Gatoros had with Phil. I did text Phil yesterday morning. He didn't get back to me. He is out of country. Maybe, I don't know, I gave him 24 hours because maybe it's a different time or whatever. Maybe he doesn't have roaming. Maybe he can't afford that. I don't know why he's not responding, but he's out of country and has nothing to add to the situation. So right now, all we have is Gatoros was attempting to do something in goodwill, and that was basically immediately shut down, for lack of a better word, immediately shut down by Phil Adam. He didn't want these games to be ported over just to make some money to pay back the investors, pay back the pre-orders of people, pay back anyone that had put money into this. He doesn't care about that right now. Either that, or he feels like he can make more money somewhere else, and didn't want to take up Gatoros on the offer because of that. It is an interesting situation. I can see both sides of it, but again, with Phil Adam kicking the can down the road 30 more days, it's kind of like put up or shut up. We're on month 22 of that. I can't even keep count, but it's been going on a long time of lots of talk and no action. So I wanted to just keep you guys up to date. Thank you, No Swear Gamer, for the footage on Hater Smash here. And thank you, Gatoros, for offering your services and trying to get the money back to the pre-order people. If you are someone who pre-ordered the Intellivision Amico and tried to get your refund and couldn't, please comment down below. I haven't heard of too many recently. It feels like random people are starting to get sporadic refunds, like way after they requested it, but at least it's showing up in their bank account with no message, no email, no anything. Just a strange situation, but I guess that's what you get when you only have one person at the helm of an entire company. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, you stay smashing. Smash,